The year was 2157. One moment Earth was there. A bright jewel, blue and white, spinning in the velvet dark. It hummed with life, with radio waves, with the faint glow of cities at night. It was home. Then it was not. No flash, no terrible fiery explosion. Just gone. The telescopes blinked, the sensors stuttered, confused. Operators rubbed their eyes, thinking it was a trick of the light. They checked again, and again. The space where Earth should have been was now just an empty patch of stars. The silence that followed was the loudest sound humanity had ever known. A silence that echoed in every heart, on every distant rock man now called home. On Mars, children stopped their games. Their parents looked up at the sky, a new fear dawning in their eyes. The Earthlink, always a constant stream of news and music and voices, fell dead. It was like a string cut, a vital connection severed. The blue planet, the mother world, had vanished into the cosmic night. It left behind only questions and a chilling, pervasive emptiness. The universe suddenly felt much larger, much colder, and terribly, terribly quiet. Panic was a slow wave. First disbelief, then a frantic searching, then a cold dread. How could a world simply disappear? What force could achieve such a thing without a whisper, without a trace? They only had the silence. The terrible, unending silence from the place where laughter and song and all of human history had once resided. Far out, beyond the orbit of Neptune, drifted Station X7. An old listening post, mostly forgotten. Its original mission had ended decades ago. Now, it was a relic, a ghost ship in the cold, deep dark. Its systems ran on low power, its corridors were empty, save for the hum of ancient machinery. It floated on, a silent sentinel, its massive dishes still pointed, by habit, towards the distant, empty space where Earth had been. One day, long after the vanishing, a flicker, a tiny, almost imperceptible spike on one of X7's archaic receivers. The station's automated systems, designed for patterns of cosmic noise, nearly dismissed it. It was weak, so very weak, like a whisper caught on a gale. But it was there, a thread of sound, a ghost of a signal buried deep within the background radiation of the universe. It was not natural, it had a structure, a faint, repeating rhythm.
The station's primary AI, a simple logical entity named Custodian, logged the anomaly. It was programmed to note deviations, however small. This signal was a deviation.
The signal was old, impossibly old, by the time Custodian finally managed to isolate and begin to decode its fragile message. It seemed to be traveling from a point far beyond where Earth had been, yet it carried an echo, a resonance, that felt hauntingly familiar. Custodian worked patiently, its processors whirring softly in the cold silence of the station. Slowly, painstakingly, a message began to emerge. Not data, not telemetry, something else, something human. A faint melody, a collection of voices, sorrowful and yearning. A final breath from a world lost. Deep within Station X7, in a cryogenic chamber long sealed, lay Commander Arya Noor. She was part of a contingency plan. A last resort, should humanity ever face a truly existential threat from beyond the Sol system. Her mission was to be a seed, a memory, a final attempt to carry forward the spark. The cryogenic chamber hissed. Frost melted from its viewport. Slowly, gently, Arya Noor was brought back to the warmth of life. She awoke with a gasp, her mind foggy, her limbs heavy. The light in the chamber was dim. The silence of the station was absolute, save for Custodian's calm, synthesized voice.
Commander Noor, welcome. It has been some time.
Custodian, report. What is the situation?
Commander, there is an anomaly, a transmission of unknown origin. But first, you should know about Earth.
Arya's heart grew cold. She saw it in the AI's digital reticence. Something was terribly wrong. The news was delivered clinically, factually. Earth gone, vanished, years ago. Decades, in fact, by the station's internal chronometer. Arya felt the world tilt. Her home, everyone she knew, her family, her friends, all just erased. A tear traced a path down her cheek, freezing in the chill air. The long sleep had preserved her, but it had stolen her world. She was adrift, a relic herself, in a universe that had moved on without her. The weight of it was crushing.
The transmission, Custodian, play it for me.
The AI complied. The sound that filled the small control room of Station X7 was not a distress call in the traditional sense. It was not a warning, nor a plea for rescue filled with technical data. It was music, a haunting melody, woven with voices, men, women, children, singing, laughing, crying, whispering farewells. It was a tapestry of human experience, a final, desperate message in a bottle thrown into the cosmic ocean. There were snippets of poems, fragments of old songs, the laughter of a child, the soft murmur of a lullaby. A mother's last words to a child she would never see grow, a scientist's awed description of a sunset, a lover's whispered promise carried on the solar winds. It was raw, unfiltered emotion. It was Earth's soul, laid bare. It was beautiful and heartbreaking. Arya listened, tears streaming freely now. Each note, each voice was a stab to her heart. This was not just data, this was her people. This was everything they were, everything they had lost. The transmission was a choir of ghosts, singing of love and loss, of hope and despair, all intertwined. It spoke of a journey, a departure not of their choosing, but a journey nonetheless. It hinted at a destination, a place beyond the known, a place they were being taken. The final strains of the transmission faded, leaving an even deeper silence in their wake. It was a message of profound sorrow, yet underneath it all, Arya sensed a thread of resilience, a spark of defiance. They were gone, but they had not been silent. They had sent their spirit out into the universe, a final testament to their existence.
Where did this come from?
The AI indicated a distant, uncharted nebula.
The probability of locating the source, Commander, is less than 0.001%. The signal is ancient, degraded. Its point of origin is speculative, based on extrapolated data from its decay.
The AI displayed complex calculations, charts filled with variables and uncertainties.
Station X7 is not equipped for long-range interstellar travel. Our fuel reserves are minimal. Our life support systems are aging.
It was a gentle, logical dissuasion. Arya looked at the star charts, at the faint, shimmering nebula indicated as the likely origin. It was impossibly far. The journey would take years, perhaps decades, even if they could find a way. The station was old, fragile. She was one woman, awakened into a nightmare. The odds were stacked against her, a mountain of impossibility. Logic dictated she should mourn, perhaps find a way to the Martian colonies, to live out her days with the remnants of humanity. But the song echoed in her mind, the voices of her lost world, her mother's laugh, her father's gentle hum. How could she not try? How could she let that final, beautiful, heartbreaking message be the end?
Custodian, prepare Station X7 for departure. Plot a course for that nebula. We are going to find them.
Her heart, though heavy with grief, beat with a fierce, unwavering purpose. She would chase that echo, that whisper from home, to the very edge of the universe if she had to. Time itself seemed to bend and flow like a river. It was terrifying, it was magnificent, it was the universe revealing one of its deepest secrets. Then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. Station X7 emerged, battered but intact, into a region of space unlike anything Arya had ever seen. Nebulae glowed with colors that defied description, like cosmic flowers blooming in an infinite garden. Stars burned with an unfamiliar intensity, their light casting strange shadows within the station. They were far from home, farther than any human had ever been. Arya gazed out at the alien skyscape, a sense of profound awe washing over her, mixed with a deep, abiding loneliness. The station drifted through this new, wondrous expanse. Custodian scanned tirelessly, its sensors drinking in the novel cosmic radiation, the strange stellar phenomena. The Earth signal, their guiding beacon, was still there, fainter now, but subtly different. It seemed closer, fresher, as if they were nearing its source, or perhaps something that was actively rebroadcasting it. Arya felt a flutter in her chest, a mix of hope and trepidation. What would they find here, at the end of this impossible journey? Days later, Custodian announced,
Commander, I'm detecting anomalous energy signatures. Non-random patterns. Complex. They are not of natural origin.
What kind of patterns, Custodian?
The AI displayed the signals on the main screen. They were intricate, mathematical, yet they possessed a strange, almost melodic quality. They were not human, they were utterly alien. Yet they did not feel hostile. They felt inquisitive. Then a new signal emerged from the patterns, clearer, more direct. It resonated with the Earth transmission, not as an echo, but as an answer. It was a response, a greeting perhaps. Arya couldn't understand the language, if it was language, but she could feel the intent, a sense of welcome, a sense of shared curiosity. Tears welled in Arya's eyes, but this time they were not tears of sorrow, they were tears of wonder, of a fragile, burgeoning hope. She had chased a ghost across the universe, she had followed a song of farewell, and at the end of it all, she had found not an ending, but a potential beginning. Arya stood silently on the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the alien skyscape outside. The excitement of the newfound signals had given way to a deeper, more contemplative mood. She knew they had reached a pivotal point in their journey, but the path ahead was still shrouded in uncertainty. AI voice. Commander, the energy signatures are growing stronger. We are approaching the source. Arya Noor. I know, Custodian, but what happens when we get there? What if they're not as welcoming as they seem? AI voice. Our mission was always to seek out new life and new civilizations, to understand, to learn. This is our opportunity, Commander. Arya Noor. But the risks? We don't know what we're dealing with. We've come so far, but at what cost? Can we truly trust these signals? AI voice. Trust is a leap of faith, Commander, but we have prepared for this. We have protocols, we have knowledge, and we have each other. Arya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her responsibilities. The journey had tested her resolve, but it had also shown her the boundless possibilities that awaited them. Arya Noor. You're right, Custodian. We've faced the unknown before, and we've always found a way through. We can't turn back now. AI voice. What are your orders, Commander? Arya Noor. Prepare the station for first contact protocols. Let's approach with caution, but also with open hearts and minds. This could be the beginning of something extraordinary. As the station moved closer to the source of the signals, Arya felt a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges ahead were daunting, but they were also a testament to the indomitable spirit of exploration. They were about to write a new chapter in the story of humanity, one filled with hope, curiosity, and the courage to venture into the unknown. And so, with determination and a sense of wonder, they pressed forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Gap 3S.
I can try, Commander. What would you like to say? Custodian, can you send a message back? The AI displayed the signals on the main screen. They were intricate, mathematical, yet they possessed a strange, almost melodic quality. They were not human, they were utterly alien, yet they did not feel hostile. They felt inquisitive. Then a new signal emerged from the patterns, clearer, more direct. It resonated with the Earth transmission, not as an echo, but as an answer. It was a response, a greeting perhaps. Arya couldn't understand the language, if it was language, but she could feel the intent. A sense of welcome, a sense of shared curiosity. Tears welled in Arya's eyes. But this time, they were not tears of sorrow. They were tears of wonder, of a fragile, burgeoning hope. She had chased a ghost across the universe. She had followed a song of farewell. And at the end of it all, she had found not an ending, but a potential beginning. What kind of patterns, Custodian? Commander, I'm detecting anomalous energy signatures, non-random patterns, complex, they are not of natural origin. A new dawn was breaking, not just for her, but perhaps for what remained of humanity. The station drifted through this new, wondrous expanse. Custodian scanned tirelessly, its sensors drinking in the novel cosmic radiation, the strange stellar phenomena. The Earth signal, their guiding beacon, was still there, fainter now, but subtly different. It seemed closer, fresher, as if they were nearing its source, or perhaps something that was actively rebroadcasting it. Arya felt a flutter in her chest, a mix of hope and trepidation. What would they find here at the end of this impossible journey? Days later, Custodian announced, Tell them we heard them. Tell them, we are here. I can try, Commander. What would you like to say? Custodian, can you send a message back?